What's up? It's your host, James Hill, and you're listening to the Advantyx Show, a podcast for people who want more out of life, business, and themselves. Each episode, we break down mindset, strategy, and practical moves that give you an advantage so you can make progress, win more, and build the life you're after. No fluff, no excuses, just practical talk that helps you level up every single day. So let's get it. Your brain is wired to lose, and this is the fix. Your brain has a default setting. And spoiler alert, it's not success. It's survival. It's why you can't stop thinking about that one piece of criticism you got, even after 10 compliments. It's why you spot the obstacle before you even see the opportunity. This is your brain's natural wiring. Think of it like a smoke detector that's way too sensitive. It was designed to save you from a 5-alarm fire, but now it shrieks just as loudly for a piece of burnt toast. In the modern world, that ancient wiring does something else entirely. It keeps you safe, sure, but it also keeps you stuck. It traps you in the average zone, where potential goes to die. But what if you could override this default setting? What if one single practical habit could force your brain to start hunting for opportunities and build the foundation for real success? Well, there is. And by the end of this, you'll have the exact tool to start retraining your brain, starting tonight. The brain's default setting. To understand the fix, you have to get the problem. And the problem isn't your work ethic. It's not your ambition. It's your biology. There are two powerful cognitive biases running in the background of your mind. They're shaping your reality without your permission. First up is the negativity bias. This is your brain's tendency to give way more weight to negative stuff than to positive stuff. Research shows our brains react more strongly to negative information. It's an ancient alarm system. For our ancestors, missing a threat, like a predator in the bushes, could be fatal. Missing a reward was a bummer, but barely deadly. So your brain evolved to be like Velcro for bad experiences and Teflon for good ones. The second bias is loss aversion. Psychologists have found that the pain of losing something hurts way more than the pleasure of gaining something of equal value. This makes us instinctively fight against change and risk. Your brain zooms in on what you might lose: your time, your money, your comfort, instead of what you might gain. Combine these two, and your mind becomes like a garden where the soil is super fertile for weeds. Negative thoughts are the weeds. They pop up effortlessly and try to choke everything else out. Positive thoughts are flowers. They require deliberate planting and constant attention. Without intentional effort, your mental garden will naturally be overrun by the weeds of doubt and fear. This isn't a personal flaw. It's the factory setting. But you don't have to be a slave to it. The turning point. The fix is introduced. So, how do you fight back against millions of years of evolutionary programming? The short answer is you don't. You don't fight it, you retrain it. You give it a new job. The science of neuroplasticity has proven that our brains aren't set in stone. They're like a vast jungle, filled with a network of trails. The thoughts you have, most often like worrying or focusing on setbacks, are wide, clear, easy to walk down paths. The more you use them, the clearer they get. Trying to force yourself to just be positive is like trying to charge your head first into a thick, overgrown section of the jungle. You won't get far. The fix isn't about bulldozing the old paths. It's about taking a machete and cutting a new one. A small, simple path at first, but one you visit every single day. This fix is a practical 5-minute daily habit. It's a simple journaling practice I call the Win/Learn Journal. It's designed to do one thing: systematically force your brain to clear that new path, training it to scan for positives and lessons instead of just threats and failures. The demonstration. how the fix actually works. Here's how you can start the Win/Learn journal tonight. It's just 2 steps. Step 1, document your win. At the end of your day, grab a notebook and write down one thing you won. Just one. This doesn't have to be a massive, life-altering victory. In fact, it's better if it's small. Did you wake up on time? That's a win. Did you choose the healthy meal over the junk food? Another win. Did you finally make that phone call you were dreading? That's a huge win. The act of searching for and writing down a win forces your brain to do something it doesn't do naturally. Scan the last 24 hours for proof of progress. You are actively training your attention to find the good. You're telling your brain, hey, this matters. Pay attention to this. You're taking that first swing of the machete to clear your new jungle path. Step 2, reframe your learn. Next, you're going to look at the challenge of the day, but you're going to reframe them. Instead of asking, where did I fail? You're going to ask, what was the biggest challenge today, and what did it teach me? This transforms you from a victim of your circumstances into a scientist in a lab. Think about it. When a scientist's experiment doesn't work, they don't see it as a personal failure. They see it as new data. They say, interesting, that hypothesis was incorrect. This result gives me the information I need for the next experiment. That's what this step does. Maybe you procrastinated on a big project, the data. That project needs to be broken into smaller steps. Maybe a sales call went south, the data. That pitch needs a new angle. When you see failure as data, you separate the outcome from your self-worth. The fear doesn't vanish, but it loses its power to paralyze you. Because even in the loss, you gain a lesson. The proof. Building systems for success. The Win/Learn journal is the cornerstone. But real winners don't stop at single habits. They build systems. A single habit is like having a 1-star player. A system is the entire team. Offense, defense, and a coaching strategy. All working together to make winning inevitable. Here are 2 rules to build your system. System 1. The never skip twice rule. This one is all about consistency. Life happens. You'll skip a habit. That's okay. Missing once is an accident. Missing twice is the start of a new negative habit. The rule is simple. You can miss one day, but you are never allowed to miss 2 days in a row. This gives you a clear, non-negotiable command to get right back on track. It breaks the cycle of guilt that often follows one slip up. Consistency isn't about perfection. It's about how fast you can recover. System 2, the 1 priority rule. The modern world is a war for your attention. A long to-do list isn't a plan. It's a recipe for overwhelm. Winners focus their energy with ruthless precision. Each morning, ask yourself, if I could only get one thing done today to make it a success, what would it be? That one thing is now your priority. You do it first, before your willpower is drained. The single task becomes the #1 candidate for the win section of your journal later that day. It creates a clean line between your daily intention and your nightly reflection, closing that loop and building the momentum. When you combine these 3 things, the 1 priority to guide your action, the Win/Learn journal to process the day, and the never skip twice rule to keep you going, you create a powerful system that stacks small wins, day after day. And then the results, the long-term impact. At first, this whole system might feel a little mechanical, but stick with it. Over time, something profound starts to happen. By consistently forcing your brain to find wins and lessons, you start to change its automatic behavior. That new jungle path you've been clearing gets wider and easier to walk down until it becomes a new default, the path of least resistance. You'll start to notice opportunities you were blind to before. Your gut reaction to a setback will slowly shift from, I can't believe this happened, to, what can I learn from this? You'll stop thinking in terms of isolated events, a good day, a bad day, and start thinking in systems, a continuous process of growth. This is the fundamental difference between an amateur and a professional. The amateur thinks success is an event, like winning the lottery. The professional knows success is a process. They live by the motto, success is rented, and the rent is due every day. This system is how you pay the rent. You're no longer just hoping for a different result. You are actively building the identity of a person who earns it. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just be inspired by this. Take action. Commit to the Win/Learn journal for the next 30 days. That's it. Just 5 minutes a day. Tonight before you go to sleep, take out a notebook or a new note on your phone. Write win and find one thing, no matter how small, that you did well today. Then write learn and pull one lesson from one challenge. That's it. That's your first rep. Deciding to start is the first, most important step in rewiring your brain. In conclusion, remember this. Your brain's default setting is not your destiny. The wiring that was designed for ancient survival doesn't have to dictate your modern potential. You have the ability, right now, to pick up the tools and actively participate in your own evolution through the power of neuroplasticity. By building a simple daily habit of seeking wins and learning from setbacks, you can start to override the code that holds you back. You can train your brain to hunt for opportunity, to turn failure into fuel, and to build a life, not of reaction, but on intention. The work isn't easy, but the first step is simple, and it starts now.